Hello, this is Max. Tortured by the curse of the Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze gets a chance at redemption by protecting the devil's son, who is being pursued by his own father. Don't forget to subscribe. At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Muro, who goes on a motorcycle trip to a fortress in Eastern Europe. At the fortress, he encounters a monk and expresses his concern about the safety of a child present there. Muro believes that he may need to remove the child from the location due to the imminent danger posed by people actively searching for the child. As Muro and the monk converse, they are suddenly attacked by a heavily armed group of individuals who relentlessly open fire on them. Muro defends himself by returning fire, and during this intense encounter, we are introduced to the child named Danny, who is revealed to be the son of the devil. We also catch a glimpse of the boy's mother, Nadia. Mother and son attempt to escape amidst the chaotic attack, but the assailants, led by a man named Kerrigan, pursue them relentlessly. Muro is forced off a cliff after disabling the mercenaries' vehicle tires, thus delaying their pursuit of Danny and Nadia. Miraculously, Muro survives as he lands on a tree, which breaks his fall, ultimately saving him. The scene transitions to our main character, Johnny Blaze, where we learn that Johnny hasn't been a ghost rider for the past 8 years. Muro arrives at Johnny's home and reveals the dire situation, but Johnny initially doubts Muro's claims and physically confronts him. In the course of their interaction, Muro discloses that he knows Johnny carries the soul of a ghost rider within him and offers a deal. Muro proposes that if Johnny assists him in saving the boy's life, he will help Johnny rid himself of the ghost rider entity, thus allowing Johnny to reclaim his own soul. Johnny, intrigued by the prospect, agrees to help. The narrative then shifts to Nadia and Danny, who have resorted to a life of thievery to survive. However, Kerrigan and his team continue to track them, determined to capture and return them to the devil. Meanwhile, Johnny Blaze transforms into his Ghost Rider form and embarks on his mission. Ghost Riders have the ability to sense evil, and Johnny uses this ability to locate Nadia and her son, who are on the verge of being shot by Kerrigan and his henchmen. Ghost Rider intervenes and engages in a fierce battle with the attackers. Although Kerrigan attempts to fight back using various weapons, he is unable to harm the seemingly invulnerable Ghost Rider. Kerrigan manages to escape from the scene as Ghost Rider defends Nadia and Danny. However, a drop of Danny's blood touches the ground, causing Ghost Rider to start losing his powers. Kerrigan seizes the opportunity to return and confront Johnny once more. The story transitions to Johnny waking up in a hospital, where he evades questions about his injuries from a nurse. Johnny then spots Nadia and begins to follow her. Meanwhile, Kerrigan has captured Danny and contacts Roarke, the primary antagonist and the devil in the story. Kerrigan demands double the payment they initially agreed upon, and he expresses his uncertainty about what to do with the child. Roarke instructs Kerrigan to put the child on the call, and when Danny speaks to Roarke, he utters a single word that renders him unconscious. Kerrigan is bewildered by this development and questions Roarke about his actions. Roarke reveals that he has placed a lock on the child's body, ensuring that the Ghost Rider cannot locate him, effectively thwarting their plans. However, Roarke adds a crucial caveat, stating that the Ghost Rider has the ability to locate Kerrigan. Consequently, Kerrigan must remain vigilant and maximize his security. Roarke assures Kerrigan that he will be there to retrieve the child as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Johnny catches up to Nadia and confronts her, questioning why she is running from him. He recalls seeing her the previous night and inquires about the whereabouts of the child. Nadia proceeds to recount the entire story, revealing that Kerrigan has been pursuing them for some time. She discloses that Kerrigan is her ex-boyfriend, and they used to live together in a life of luxury filled with wealth, guns, cars, and money. She explains that she agreed to live with him because she desired these material possessions. Johnny then asks her about Danny's true parentage, and Nadia confirms that the child is indeed hers. But Kerrigan is not the father. Roarke is Danny's biological father. Kerrigan, on the other hand, joins his well-armed friends and prepares for the impending conflict. Meanwhile, Nadia and Johnny encounter a man who possesses significant knowledge about Kerrigan. After a conversation with him, they learn that Kerrigan has taken the boy to an unfinished building where he is torturing him. Johnny decides to transform into Ghost Rider, but maintains control over his transformation, as going fully into his Ghost Rider form would reveal his true identity and could be dangerous to Nadia. After extracting the necessary information from the man, Ghost Rider heads to Kerrigan's location, where he discovers that the Ghost Rider is on his way, prompting Kerrigan to prepare for a battle. Kerrigan assembles an army of men, including one armed with a rocket launcher. The battle commences as Ghost Rider, riding a Bagger 288, easily dispatches Kerrigan and his mercenaries. Nadia and Danny manage to escape during the chaos. However, Ghost Rider catches up to them and attempts to harm Nadia. The next morning, the three of them sit in a restaurant having breakfast, but Danny appears uninterested in conversation. Meanwhile, Roarke approaches Kerrigan, who dies before him. Roarke, using his dark powers, resurrects Kerrigan as a being known as Blackout, capable of enveloping the surroundings in darkness and causing decay upon touch. Roarke, weakened from his time on Earth, sends Blackout to retrieve Danny. It becomes evident that Roarke's body is deteriorating, and to regain his strength, he needs a body born from his own seed, which Danny is. Roarke intends to perform a ritual on Danny to transform his body and regain his youthful strength. On the other hand, Johnny, Danny, and Nadia make their way to an ancient fortress in Eastern Europe, known as the Old Fort. The inhabitants of the fort live a traditional lifestyle, shunning modern conveniences, including electricity. They rely solely on sunlight during the day and moonlight at night for illumination. There, they encounter Murrow, who is revealed to be an old monk. These monks are the ones who tasked Murrow with rescuing and bringing the boy to the fortress. The monks, led by Methodius, are responsible for protecting Danny. Before the planned exorcism, Murrow explains to Johnny that the Ghost Rider was once the angel of justice, Seraphos, who was tricked into descending into hell and driven insane. While he retained a sense of justice, Seraphos became a spirit of vengeance, finding pleasure in punishing wrongdoers, regardless of the severity of their crimes. Although Johnny questions the existence of the benevolent aspect of the angel's spirit, Johnny undergoes a successful exorcism. However, the situation takes a dark turn when Methodius reveals his treacherous intentions. He plans to kill Danny to prevent the devil from taking over his body and gaining more power. Johnny, Murrow, and Nadia find themselves imprisoned as Danny is on the brink of death. However, Blackout arrives at the scene and kills Methodius and the other monks, reclaiming Danny and returning him to Roarke's custody. Nadia is devastated by this turn of events, but Johnny is resolute in his determination to rescue Danny, even though his Ghost Rider powers have been removed. Nadia informs Johnny that she knows where they have taken the boy. Murrow, aware that they will now have to face formidable adversaries, suggests that they arm themselves with the deadliest weapons available. They equip themselves for the impending battle. That night, Roarke initiates the ritual he has been planning, aimed at rejuvenating his powers and strengthening his body to its peak. Arriving on the scene, Murrow, Nadia, and Johnny prepare for the battle ahead. Murrow decides to partake in the ancient wine, and Johnny questions the wisdom of getting drunk before such a critical battle. Murrow, however, believes it's the perfect moment and drinks, seeking forgiveness from God for the sins he's about to commit, acknowledging that they have no other choice. The battle begins, with Roarke facing off against Johnny. Despite Roarke's knowledge of magic and rituals, his weakened body proves no match for Johnny's power. Roarke is defeated when Johnny lands a powerful punch. Johnny attempts to rescue Danny, urging the boy to escape, but Danny appears oblivious to his surroundings due to the ongoing rituals. Finally, Danny gets up and attacks Johnny, but during the encounter, he recalls a time when the Ghost Rider saved him. Realizing that Johnny is no longer a Ghost Rider, Danny transfers all the powers of a Ghost Rider to Johnny. Johnny once again becomes the Ghost Rider. As they attempt to escape with Danny, Kerrigan arrives and a fierce battle ensues. In the midst of the fight, Kerrigan incapacitates Murrow. He also attempts to thwart the Ghost Rider. Seizing the opportunity, Roarke takes Danny and flees the scene in his car. Johnny, now the Ghost Rider once more, pursues Roarke on his ghost bike. Kerrigan follows closely, determined to stop the Ghost Rider. However, Kerrigan's attempt to stop the Ghost Rider turns out to be a grave mistake. The Ghost Rider unleashes his full power and attacks Kerrigan relentlessly, ultimately defeating and finishing him off. With his flaming chain in hand, the Ghost Rider sets his sights on stopping Roarke's van. As Roarke accelerates in an attempt to lose the Ghost Rider, the chase intensifies. However, the pursuit ends abruptly as Roarke's car crashes into a massive boulder, sending it flipping on the road until it comes to a halt. The Ghost Rider approaches the wrecked car and forcibly drags Roarke, the devil, out of the vehicle. Roarke concedes that he has wrought enough evil on Earth and that he belongs in hell. The devil acknowledges that making a deal with Johnny was a grave mistake. The Ghost Rider, With determination, sends Roarke plummeting into the fiery depths of hell, sealing his fate. Nadia catches up with them, but is heartbroken to see the Ghost Rider carrying Danny's lifeless body from the wreckage. She expresses her sorrow, stating that they did their best to save the child, but fate had other plans. The Ghost Rider shares in her grief, recalling a piece of wisdom Muro imparted when he sought to rid himself of his powers and return to a normal life. The Ghost Rider reveals that the original purpose of the Ghost Rider was to deliver justice to Earth. Over time, however, the Ghost Rider had deviated from this path, focusing solely on punishing those who spread evil without ensuring justice prevailed. Now, he feels the reawakening of the angel of justice within him. The Ghost Rider uses his angelic blue flames to resurrect Danny, and the boy finally awakens. Both Johnny and Nadia breathe sighs of relief as their mission to save the boy is accomplished. Johnny, now fully empowered with the ability to make justice prevail and combat evil, rides off engulfed in holy blue flames, declaring that he is the Ghost Rider with the power to both deliver justice and fight evil. With that, the movie reaches its conclusion. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen, and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.